Doesn't matter, whenever I choose to do this, there's always somebody that's looking to help me, isn't there? Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. Now today we're going to be filming something a little bit different for you. There's a trend that is happening on YouTube that is pretty much inescapable at the moment, and that is glow up. Now, if you've not heard of a glow up before, it's basically where you take yourself from your very natural form into something that is a complete makeover to make yourself look $1 million. Now, jumping slightly on this bandwagon, I've decided that I too am also going to do a glow up, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. So I thought, how could I possibly make this better and make it something more history based? Today, we'll be going from peasant to royalty and transforming into Elizabeth I. Wish me luck. So in order to make this as accurate as possible, I've done my research and I want to make it just as gross and unsettling as it would have been back in the day. However, a minor disclaimer before we get started, I'm not going to be using any of the products that would have been quite dangerous from back in the day, so no lead paint, for example, because I don't want my skin to peel off in chunks. No putting poison in my eyes, because I kind of need those. And using anything that's too dangerous is just a risk that I am not willing to take. So the things I'll be using to transform myself will be as close to the real thing as I can find, but also safe. So where do you start with a glow up? Skincare, of course. To get started, I need to wash off my face and to make my skin nice and clean and prepped and ready so I can do all the damage that I'm going to do to it today. Oh no! So in the Elizabethan times, obviously they didn't have the same access to the same type of products that we do now with all our modern revolutions. So instead they had to resort to using more natural products. So today we're going to be using rose-based products. That's what they used to use to freshen their skin. So I have some Sephora cleansing cream. So I'm going to take my makeup off using that, which is rose based, and then I also have a rose face mask as well, so that's going to soften up my skin and make it ready and pliable for the lovely nice white cream base makeup that we're going to slather on. And also something that the Elizabethans were also very keen on was actually bathing in milk, and not any old milk, ass's milk. And where can you get that from? So instead, we have donkey milk soap. So I'm going to use that on my face and see if it makes my skin nice and soft. I never use soap on my face because I have dry skin already, so this could go horribly wrong. I might have to moisturise a lot this evening.
I always use an aftershave lotion with little or no alcohol because alcohol dries your face out and makes you look older. Then moisturizer. Then an anti-aging eye balm followed by a final moisturizing protective lotion.
So I'm just going to dab a little bit of the cleansing cream on my hands and then put it directly on my skin. So I'm just going to leave that on my skin for the moment. This cleansing cream as well is also suitable for your eyes, and this one is also a little bit oily as well, so it's quite nice for your skin. And the Elizabethans as well weren't shy of using oils on their skin, which is good news for me because I'm definitely going to need it after I've put that cakey base on. Does anybody else find getting rid of mascara really difficult? How are you meant to do it without poking yourself in the eye or getting product in your eye? There we go.
How does that look?
I'm just going to give it a quick rinse and then probably repeat that step again and get rid of more of this makeup. Down my skin. If you didn't hear that, I said I'm tying down my skin.
What?
Not completely off underneath my eyes. Oh dear. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So next I'm going to double cleanse my face by using the donkey milk or ass's milk soap and see how much this dries out my skin. I thought it might smell strange, but it smells like soap. When someone says use ass milk on your face, it makes you think that maybe this doesn't smell that nice, but we're alright, it smells okay. Okay, let's get a good lather of that on. Oh, it feels quite nice going on. But yeah, I don't recommend using soap on your face, but you know, trying to be authentic. Okay, let's wash that off. So that is my face now completely cleaned. It does feel a bit dry, but actually the soap that I used, sorry for the extreme close-up, the soap that I used has actually made my skin quite soft, which isn't too bad. Now, next step is to put on a face mask, and luckily I have a rose face mask, so I'm gonna use that. But also, I just discovered, lurking in my pile of hoarded beauty items, that I also have a lip mask, and my lips are definitely in need of some moisturising, because I've got, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a tiny little cut in the corner of my mouth, so could definitely do with some of this. This mask is quite runny, it's quite a wet mask. It's not the same as like any kind of clay masks or anything like that. It smells lovely. So this now says that it needs to set for 10 to 15 minutes. So who'd like a history lesson? So now it's time to relax for 15 minutes. I thought I'd give you a little bit more history and also eat this cookie. So you can't deny that Queen Elizabeth I was very uniquely fashionable, but where did her style come from? Her pale skin and her curly red hair are quite often cited as being unique, but actually they're not. She's a filthy thief. She stole her look from somebody else. She copied the style from the most reportedly beautiful woman in England at that time, whose name was Lettice Knowsley. Now, I don't know why we don't call people Lettice anymore, but if you're ever going to have children, I really recommend that you do call them Lettice, because I think that's a super cool name that's pretty unique. Or it's the name of a vegetable, one or the other. Is lettuce a vegetable? Anyway, I digress. Lettice was pale to the point of translucency in her skin, so you could see her veins sticking out from underneath. Elizabeth wanted to look exactly the same way, so she decided to rip off Lettice's look. But in order to make the look more queenly, Elizabeth hired a bunch of different people to make her dresses and also her skincare regime bigger, better, and crazier than anybody else had ever done it before. If Lettice had a puffy sleeve, Elizabeth wanted it 5 times bigger. If Lettice wore a ruff, Elizabeth wanted neck wings, or whatever you call these things. The ruffs became bigger and higher and more extravagant, but she wasn't beneath showing a bit of skin as well. And Elizabeth's dresses were intentionally quite risque for the day and showed quite a bit of cleavage. With her flamboyant and interesting different style, Elizabeth was suddenly heralded by all the other women in the land, and they were heavily inspired to start dressing like her as well. But dressing in this way wasn't without its faults, and it was very difficult to do, as I'm about to find out. Right, time to wash this off now. I'm going to finish eating this. Nearly fell over. This is beautiful, yeah? I think so. Oh yeah. Oh no. No, 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 no. Don't think you're meant to talk when this is on. Now it's time for the scary bits to begin. So where should we begin? With this stuff, I guess. This is white clown paint, which I guess is probably the closest thing to what Elizabeth would have worn. And we need to make this super thick. How's that? Better? Yes, better. And also because I used to be a face painter, I know exactly how much some of this face paint stuff can stain, so I'm also going to put on some gloves. So now it's time to apply our base. Now I just had to wash a foundation brush, which I haven't done in probably the whole time that I've had this brush. So I've had this for at least 8 years, 9 years, and possibly haven't cleaned it in all that time. feel free to run away now. I'm just going to put some of this on this brush. Apologies that the light in here is not very nice, but I can't be bothered to set my lights up today, so you're just going to get what it is. Elizabeth wouldn't have had excellent lighting, so I've got a slightly damp brush. I'm just loading up this foundation brush. In the Elizabethan times, it was very popular to have a very pale complexion, as I've already said, and there were a number of reasons for this. Reason number one being that only the richest people had access to skin creams and various different face ointments, such as ceruse, which was the most popular combination of lead and vinegar. Very good for the complexion, I'm sure you'll agree. And so it was a sign of wealth to have very white skin, because only wealthy people could afford to stay inside and to have no colour on their face whatsoever. There was also a few other reasons as to why it was quite popular to have this painted on white face, and that was down to lovely diseases. Elizabeth herself wasn't exempt from catching some of these nasty diseases, and she too had an outbreak of smallpox which left her skin very pocked and marked and not looking great without being slathered in ceruse, covering over the nose ring there as well. Hopefully that will wash off okay. By the time people started using ceruse on a regular basis, the dangers of it were sort of known, and people were just kind of turning a blind eye to the fact that it was causing their skin to peel or for large marks to appear on it, and instead there were other various different things you could use on your face to make it white. So instead of the ceruse, you could use talcum powder, or you could use mashed up eggs, and you could also use ash that was ground up into a paste and apply that to your face. But obviously that might not be quite as white as you would like it to be. I think we should paint the ears. I don't know whether we should paint the ears. I feel like Wes Borland. Do I look like Wes Borland? I feel like Wes Borland. Now at the moment this isn't feeling quite so bad, but once it starts to dry properly, can't see that it's going to feel that nice. Okay, I'm going to check that in a mirror and see what we need to do. Oh god, that makes my teeth look yellow. I actually feel like I could be Michael Myers right now. Ended up going for 3 coats on the face in the end, and I've done 2 coats on the neck. Next up we have to paint some veins onto our skin so it looks translucent, and apparently they did this with red face paint. I'm just going to use the white brush again just to kind of blend these out a bit so they look a bit more veiny and not so prominent. That's our veins painted on, looking slightly gory, and also a bit of my own hair in there. Now we next need to do something very important with our teeth, which is to brush them. Elizabeth was a big believer in oral hygiene and would definitely make sure that her gnashes were nice and clean. So compared to our white faces, kind of need to be. Now, obviously, Elizabeth wouldn't have had this kind of toothbrush. I've got hair in my mouth, hang on. Definitely wouldn't have had this kind of toothbrush, and definitely wouldn't have had this kind of toothpaste. But I don't want to brush my teeth with charcoal, or better still, with animal fat. So I'm just going to use normal toothpaste. Okay, teeth brushed, mouth feeling nice and fresh. Teeth still yellow because the colour of my face is alabaster, so therefore my teeth are still going to look yellow. I can guarantee you they are not yellow in real life though. So next we have our eyes to do, and for that they used to put belladonna into their eyes to make them nice and bright and white. I'm not going to put belladonna in my eyes because I don't want to blind myself, but I do have some eye brightener drops, so we're going to do that next. Ooh, 2 drops in each eye. That's 1 drop in. Let's do the other eye as well, just 1 drop in that one. And I do drop number 2. I haven't actually read to see what the ingredients are in here. It could even be belladonna, and I don't even know. Stinging slightly. So according to the box, these are meant to whiten and brighten. See if you can spot any noticeable difference. Eyes whitened and brightened, maybe? So also with the eyes, you would put coal into them. Now coal is a not particularly nice mixture made from ash, and I don't really want to put that in my eyes but we do have kohl pencils still, which are safe. And all I need to do is just mark out my lower lash line there. Cheeks are now done, quite pink on the old cheekies there. It was a bit of a nightmare trying to blend it in, so it's also coming up quite lumpy and textured, as you can see now. Well, next we are going on to our lips, and then we'll be setting the look and then putting our outfit on. So in order to make this not look completely terrible, I'm using a liquid lipstick, otherwise the face paint is going to go everywhere. And I'm already starting to notice that this isn't looking so great around the side, so we're going to try and finish strong. Now, same as we do today, Elizabeth would have also overdrawn her lip, and she had quite tiny, thin little lips, so she would have overdrawn to make them bigger. So there's our lips done. And then I almost forgot that we've got to do our eyebrows now. Eyebrows were meant to be high and very thin, and again you'd use that kohl to do that. I'm just going to use this brow pencil, which is pretty much the same as what a kohl pencil would do. Now the trick is to try and make them the same. I've taken the white paint to go in and carve out the shape of the eyebrows, so they are even less there, so they're meant to be nice and high and very thin. So I've gone in and done that, and then also evened up a bit more of that cheek as well to make it a little bit less garish. So I've also just put a tiny little bit of mascara on, because they would have rubbed kohl or ash onto their, or soot even, onto their eyelashes to make them stick up a bit. So instead of giving myself an eye infection by doing that myself, I put on a tiny little bit of mascara, so it looks like I have actually got some eyelashes. Now it's time for the transformation! Look at those teeth, great. Before we can do that, we need to set our face with this egg white powder. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up into a cup, and then I shall start pasting it onto my face. Yay! This is just as disgusting as you might expect it to be. We're just going to paint it onto our face now. Oh, I really don't want to. Wish me luck. This smells disgusting. Putting this under my nose is not something that I want to be doing. Now, if for whatever reason that you do decide to do this and put egg white on your face, don't put an actual egg white on your face. Might be stating the obvious, but you could get salmonella from that, so don't do that. Use a pasteurised egg product, because this is how you want to look all the time, yeah? Yeah. It's starting to dry, so let's hope it doesn't crackle, and then we should be good to go out on the town and address our loyal subjects. I'm not going outside dressed like this, just so we're all clear there. But my other half is coming home soon. I haven't told him I'm doing this, so he's going to enjoy this. The egg whitewash is actually really good. Blended everything together really well, which is a bit of a surprise. I thought it was going to mess everything up, but actually it come out quite good. Short on setting spray, you can use liquidized egg. I can see you are all going to rush to do that. So there we go. We are done. We are ready. Time for the transformation. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I was hoping that there might be some kind of transition, but let's face it, I'm not going to bother editing that in. There we have it. There is my peasant to royalty glow up. So I hope you enjoyed it. I had a really good time doing it. Took me 3.5 hours in total in the end. If you want to replicate this, be aware that it will take you some time. I think we can all agree that I look great. Apart from these yellow teeth. So if you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment and subscribe, and let me know who I should dress up next time for another edition of Glow Ups Throughout History. I will see you, hopefully looking a bit more normal, next time. See ya! So I'm just getting ready for Neil to come home, and he should be home sort of any minute now, so he doesn't know that I've done this. So I'm going to surprise him. Let's see how he reacts to this and this beautiful looking mess that we've got here. I've just seen him walking in the driveway, so I am going to go and surprise him. Here he comes.
Ah, you look gorgeous, love.
Hello.
Hello, it's good, it's gone good.
Yeah, you like it?
Have you coloured your teeth?
No,
They just look
really
brown next to the
yellow.
white face.
Yeah.
Excellent.
This is what I'm going to dress like from now on.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
It's good with the crown.
Yeah.
Curly hair, like it.
Yeah.
Cool, do you want to get the pub?
Yeah. Can you imagine if I walked into the pub like this?
Everybody be your friend.
I don't know if they would.
Yeah.
No, I
You'd
don't
have
know
the
if
heads
they
chopped
would.
off if they didn't.
Oh, that's true. Do you know how I'm meant to be?
Queen.
Just Queen. Okay.
Queen. What's the fluff? Oh, I think it's Mary Queen of Scots, and that's the wrong one.
Her
It's the other
sister.
one. Yeah. The Virgin Queen.
I think we'll make a lovely couple.
Richard Branson. Nice. Gorge.
Why does it make my teeth? You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I got egg on my face. Literally egg
Always.
on my face. You like your surprise?
I do, it's good.